David Bowie.
It's cracker.
Be My Wife off Low.
Very good indeed.
Yeah.
Rick, you know my frustration with the homeless?
Yeah.
You know they wind me up. Walking through Soho last night, I saw a homeless fella reading a book.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this, if he's got the wherewithal to read a book, right, he's obviously, you know, he wants to keep himself occupied, his mind educated.
Yeah.
My point is, why not, instead of reading a book, have a quick look through the job vacancies section of the Evening Standard, or maybe just take the time to fill in some kind of application form for, you know, maybe, you know,
So
a job or something like that.
confusing there was is the ability to read with the ability to house yourself.
Well, no, because what I'm saying is, it seems to me he's obviously got a certain, you know, grasp psychologically of, you know, his where
They're
he's
not
like,
mental people who haven't got
well,
houses.
a lot of them are, Rick. I've seen them dancing and shouting and screaming, you know, and pissing in doorways and stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
going
okay, you're
crazy.
confusing homelessness with trampiness.
Well, again, you know,
Some
Rick,
people just have left home and they haven't got a...
Gervais, I'm not a sociologist.
No.
Sorry if I can't spot all the clever distinctions that a trained expert such as yourself can.
Well,
all I know is, there was a fella reading a book.
Well, you know the ones that have got beards and sing little tunes and they smell of piss.
They're my favourite.
Right?
They are brilliant.
Yeah, and they're drinking special brew.
Yeah.
First of all, that's an alcoholic tramp,
Yeah,
right?
they are.
You know the
They're
ones that sit with a dog or sell big issue, they just haven't got their own place.
Right.
Do you see?
Okay. Well, again, I mean, because it is tricky finding a place, I know, because I had to move house recently, and it's a nightmare. I had to get, like, estate agents on it, and I had to go and see a load of places, and I was doing a job as well, you know, I still managed to fit it in. This guy's just lounging around on the street, so I'm surprised
he should be able to find loads of places to live.
I'm surprised he can't find the time to visit a couple of different residences.
Yeah.
Because there's some pretty cheap ones, you know, if you go kind of a bit farther out of London. Maybe it's because he wants to live in the Soho area, and frankly, it's expensive.
What I'm confused about is the number of homeless people that recognise me and say they enjoy The Office. They've got to be watching it through Dixon's window.
I think that's probably demographic that's sort of hung over from some of your previous TV work.
The 11 o'clock show.
Yeah, you know, or stuff like that.
The ones that used to slip by.
Yeah, exactly.
Tramps and the French for me.
Exactly, yeah. Some of the weirdos.
Sure.
Or maybe sort of people who watched, you know, have watched the show and then have fallen on hard times since then, I don't know. Unless they're not necessarily linked. I mean,
I wouldn't have thought so. Carl's lost in this conversation. Carl, are we boring you then?
No, it's just, I don't know, it's a bit tight, isn't it?
What?
Because it's like, I sometimes think it could have been me when I see homeless people and that, I just think, you know, I nearly killed a man once. It could have totally changed my life.
Whoa, you want to slow down there. Just back up for a second. Just back up for a second.
No, like that time when I was in Wales, right, and I picked up a big piece of slate and chucked it off the cliff.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it nearly hit a fella.
Yeah.
Right, in that split second, if he would have decided to sort of go and pick up a shell that was closer to the sea, it could have hit him, and it would have killed him, and I wouldn't be sat here today.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's just all about luck, innit?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, don't know, that's about it, really. That's
the point. That's the political.
What was the point again? That you there for the grace of God to hire?
Yeah, no, he's saying, you know, you should count our blessings because, you know, anything can happen.
Yeah,
you never know what's around the corner.
Sure.
Yeah,
It's like, if Carl hadn't met us, he'd still be in that little room making jingles. Now, he is a respected household name.
Do you think he packed the book before he left home to become homeless? He thought, right, I need the clothes, I'm gonna need the cigarettes, I'm gonna need the dog and the piece of string, and I probably gonna need some reading literature as well, because I'm gonna get pretty bored, like, just sitting in the street begging all day.
Maybe
I should take, I want to catch up on, some of the stuff I haven't read, you know.
Or maybe it's one of those themed holidays, you know, those trendy middle-class people?
Right.
They go on, like, the adventure holidays and danger holidays. Maybe the latest one, amongst sort of, like, yuppie types, is, homeless holidays.
Exactly, yeah.
They pay, like, £10,000.
Exactly.
And they really
get a little
the
area of sort of the streets of Soho.
And people come up to them and abuse them.
Yeah.
They're all paid, they're all actors.
Yeah. They get beaten up at night when they're sleeping under a bridge.
They you know, they get to try a really safe sort of form of heroin.
Sure. Yeah. That sounds brilliant. Now that's worth marketing.
Themed holidays.
Themed holidays like that. You can have homeless.
Yeah.
You can have, like, rent boy holidays. Find out what it's like to be a rent boy for 3 weeks.
Yeah, and then, they have to
and make a little bit of money on the
side. They have to wean them off it.
Exactly.
At the end, they go, no, don't keep sucking it.
You can stop
You're finished now, you're a bank manager again. I've just got the taste for it, to be honest.
Can that happen? No, it's worth knowing if that is a possibility.
Carl's worried. What? We haven't said anything. We haven't said anything wrong, Carl. There's be no complaints. We haven't said anything. The words suck, as far as I can work out. No! is not a banned word on the radio.
Is it Rockbusters time?
Okay. Yeah, Rockbusters.
Well, let's play a tune, then we'll come out with Rockbusters.
What do you want
Are
to
we
play?
gonna hear your mum's before we have
Best
yours?
holiday I've ever had.
I'm getting a taste for it. New American band called My Morning Jacket from the Sweat Bees EP. That's called Lowdown.
Like that?
Yeah, nice.
It's good, yeah. I brought in some adverts, my favourite adverts to play.
Really?
Yeah, they're all new ones as well.
We got those now? Can we hear them?
Do you want to do them now or keep them listening and
do
play them later?
No, do them now.
Yeah?
Oh, I know, they are good.
Ready? XFM.
XFM indeed, Steve.
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm just fiddling around here.
What are you looking at?
Well, I'm just looking at some of the emails, and if I can find it, I got an absolute treat from you.
Go on.
Dickie Anderson.
Is he,
Anders, he's emailed in again.
Richard Anderson, our biggest fan.
Biggest fan. He said, Dear Ricky, sorry for not tuning in recently, only I've been busy watching a puddle evaporate. Glad to hear you haven't tinkered with the show's winning formula by trying to introduce any quality into it. That's from Richard Anderson. So, good to have Dickie Anderson listening again.
Oh,
Because he just keeps us on our toes, you know.
Yeah.
And, good work, Rich. Thanks for that.
I wonder what he looks like.
Dickie Anderson? I bet he's a good-looking guy. For some reason, I've always imagined him as being slightly older, with maybe a beard.
Oh, no,
Do you know what I mean? Like
I think of him sort of cords and now and sweater.
Definitely cords.
I think he looks like, maybe the Proclaimers.
Yeah, but
Right.
again, with a beard or at least a moustache.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm seeing some kind of facial hair.
And he's sort of like, he likes the Cure and the Swiss Nut, but, he snarls at everything. He thinks everything's puerile.
Yeah.
I bet he prefers Radio 5.
Do you think Radio 5?
Yeah. 5, yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
4.
I bet he's a real music snob as well. I bet there's certain bands, it's like rubbish. The Blazing Squad, rubbish. All pop music, rubbish. Britney Spears, rubbish.
Is this defamation of character?
He's slagged you off enough times, Rick, and the show. I don't know.
And I'm only saying it's my opinion, I imagine, so,
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. I mean, you know, you could be a lovely guy.
to be honest, I'm getting to like him.
What I like about Richard is he's willing to say what he thinks.
Well, it's more than that.
He's a bit like Eminem.
No, it's more than that. He actually hits on the truth too often for my liking.
Yeah, well,
I mean, this is a shoddy show with very, very little to offer.
You got to remember though, it is a bronze-winning show. We did win a bronze award at the Sonys last year. One of the most coveted of the awards.
Yeah,
The bronze.
in my opinion, the bronze is slightly better than the gold.
Well, a lot of people don't win the bronze, Rick. You got to remember that there's not many people who
you see,
win the bronze.
gold, just, gold's got no intrinsic value. It's just a currency, and in my opinion, bronze is better.
yeah.
In a way. Carl, Rockbusters, your mum, Carl.
Yeah, no,
Listen.
we did get a bronze, but this year we introduced Rockbusters. Things will be changing. So,
Hey, we didn't introduce Rockbusters, Carl. Please don't tar us with that brush.
Yeah,
You introduced
and also,
it.
do you remember the show that got that bronze was the show with the complaint that was upheld by the radio authority?
Was it really?
Yeah, the show that got the award and was nominated was the one with the only upheld complaint we've ever had.
Do you think if we hadn't discussed that particular subject for quite as long, we could have got the silver?
I think it was the mention of, and I say this meaning male birds,
Yeah.
of all the cocks.
Right.
Yeah. But do you think the Sony committee was going, I enjoyed the show, if they hadn't mentioned cocks, meaning birds,
Yeah, bee birds, yeah.
I'd have given it the silver.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Carl getting nervous.
Rockbusters then.
Yeah.
Chance to win all that stuff Steve was talking about before. We give initials and a cryptic clue, and it's a band. And there's 3 of them, and you email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Yeah.
Right? Do you want some of me mums?
Well, I think before you give us your own, we should hear your mum's, just to sort of set the tone and for
Well,
people
she
to get their heads around the whole
She
idea.
sent some more, they're still not that up to scratch. First one, this group are nice on toast.
Marmalade?
Jam.
Yeah.
Which one?
Jam.
Okay. Marmalade would have worked.
Marmo's just as good, yeah.
This man liked his wine.
This man liked his wine.
Dean Martin.
What?
So no cryptic clue, just a man who drinks.
Yeah. But like, isn't there like a myriad of rock stars
I was
and pop
thinking
stars who
it.
like booze?
I love that's his wine!
I don't think anyone would have ever got that.
That's fantastic! This man liked his wine, Dean Martin. This man liked his golf. Oh, clubby chip face, no, Bunker Smith. Bing Crosby, yeah. He liked his golf. Yeah, that's genius. This man liked his wine.
Just a couple more. Hope you're not speeding when you meet these. The police.
Oh, it's great.
And is there any other good ones? Sounds like these lads work for the hospital.
The porters.
Say that again?
Sounds like these lads work for the hospital. Jerry and the pacemakers.
Right.
So we'll
Carl, I have to say, if there was ever, in the future, any doubt that you were your mother's son, that would pay that. Believe me, you are a chip off the old block.
Okay, well so we have a little record and then educating Ricky and Rockbusters. So the show really...
You know, speaking of like weird stuff and that, I've got a new...
Well, we weren't, but go on.
No, got a new book. Do you know I had that Freaks book? Top 50 Freaks. Got a new one sent to me.
Really?
Yeah, and do you know, like, everything normally has a name. So, like, if it's the two-headed fella, you know, they're all nicknames like that, aren't they?
They've got two nicknames, I imagine.
But this new book I've got, right, on the cover of this one, it's got, like, a woman with 3 breasts, right? And she's called the three-breasted woman, as you'd expect. The one face.
Why is she posing nude, though? That's what I want to know.
Tart.
Well, she looked happy. And there was a fella with like one face but 2 bodies.
Doing one face but 2 bodies.
One face, 2 bodies.
What do you mean one face, 2 bodies?
Surely one head, 2 bodies.
Head as well, but it was mainly the face that was weird because he looked fed up.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Without a head?
How can you have... What do you mean? How did it join to the neck?
No, it did have a head, but the fact is, it was weird that it had one face to me.
What do you mean?
Well,
if you've got one head, you'll have one face.
Yeah, I know, but it was the fact that he had one face and 2 bodies that I didn't think.
But why do you keep saying one face and 2 bodies as opposed to one head and 2 bodies? We're all the man with one face.
Yeah, but now I've got one body.
Yeah, well, surely he's the man with 2 bodies then. Again, the description.
Roll up, see the man with one face.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
So it's full of stuff like that, right? And what I'm saying is, that fella, you know, the one-faced man, the 3-breasted woman...
He wouldn't be known as the one-faced man, is what I'm saying.
Well,
that isn't the peculiar thing about him.
No, well, they all had names like that.
Right.
But there was one thing in it that didn't even have a nickname. It was so weird.
What do you mean?
It just said unidentified.
What does it look like?
Sort of testicles for eyes. That's. It just reminded me when you.
What do you
about
mean
strange.
testicles for eyes?
And what is it? Do they have a normal body?
I didn't even look at that.
Oh,
No,
so
that's what I'm saying though. You're attracted to the oddness of the thing, and that's what I was saying about Warren when he walks in.
Warwick.
You know, it'll be odd for a minute, and then I'm sure
For him it will be. Yeah.
He'll get used to you.
I've got my head round it a bit more, and the way that there's loads of people in the world, and yet you don't see people with like dangly eyes more often. It amazes me.
I love the fact that he's amazed by not seeing freaks.
Yeah.
It's incredible. He's walking down the street going, oh, everyone's got one head. That's weird.
Suzanne, see any dangly eyes today? No, me neither.
It's weird, isn't it? What's going on in the world?
Oh, he's only got a way to down.
That jingle there signifying, of course, once again, another reading from the Diary of Karl Pilkington. Now, of course, for those of you who have not been keeping abreast of Karl's medical complaints, just bring us up to speed, Karl. You had to go into hospital because previously you'd had...
I've been in
treatment.
and out, honestly. I've been in and out of that hospital just with kidney problems, really painful and what have you. And
He had kidney stones, alright.
No, but
sorted.
seriously.
I had a bit of a lie-in today because I have to get up early for my operation tomorrow. Not only have I got to have tubes shoved up my knob, but I also have to get up at 5:50. Suzanne said I could have what I want for my last dinner. It's not your last dinner, you're going for an operation.
Yeah, but you can't take things for granted these days.
Oh,
I had shepherd's pie and peas. Suzanne made it from scratch. As nice as it was annoying. Because making stuff from scratch means loads of pots, and it's my job to do the washing up. So much as the food was nice, there was loads of pans and that. People who get their last dinner on death row don't have to wash up. Got up at 5:55. You were supposed to be getting up at 5:50 on the other page. You were 5 minutes late getting up.
He's often late.
Often late. Got to the hospital and had to wait in the waiting room. There was another 9 people in there waiting to be sorted. I got called in. They sat me on a bed and took all my details down. 5 minutes later, I'd been knocked out. I got woke up when they were ripping a pipe out of my throat. I felt more rough this time. The doctor came to see me and said he couldn't find a stone, so I must have passed it. I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yeah, we filled your kidney with water and expanded it, and there was no hiding place." I sat in the recovery room for an hour while they found me a bed. One of the fellows who was sat in the room with me this morning got wheeled in. They couldn't wake him up. All the nurses were laughing because he didn't want to wake up. I bet they were laughing at me when I was in the theatre. Someone told me they totally strip you when they're operating. I would have looked like the alien on the Boswell incident.
Boswell! Boswell!
It's quite a nice analogy if it weren't for the fact that you said Boswell.
It's
The Roswell incident. Didn't sleep much through the night because there was a 60-year-old fella shouting at the nurse about his pillows. I don't think I slept through a full hour with one thing or another going on. My bed was next to the toilet, so I kept hearing the flush.
How do they sleep in hospitals, though? They wake you up to give you fucking sleeping pills and things, don't they? How do you sleep in there?
I don't know what it is. There's no air. There was an old fella across from me who kept breaking wind. He didn't even try and cover it. He was just of that age where he didn't care. Just like, that's what I do. I'm in the hospital, leave me alone.
What do you mean?
Just, I don't know what was wrong with him. I talked to him because at first I felt sorry for him. I was a little bit like, you know, he's had no visitors. No one's calling him up, so I'll talk to him. But then he got that familiar with me that he'd just be doing it whilst I'm chatting to him. Just like he's my granddad or something. It's just like, oh, that's what he does. It's like, well, I'm ill as well. Stop doing that. Honestly, unbelievable. He didn't even try and cover it with a cough. It was just like, that's...
With a cough! How would you cover it with a cough?
just non-stop.
Got home and sat down. My pains are coming back, but the doctor said this would happen, that my insides are still in shock, so I need to take it easy. It's 9 o'clock. I'm in agony. I can't do the diary for the rest of the day.
Jesus.
So you may as well just tell us then what happened.
Suzanne just got frustrated with me because I was rolling about on the floor and she was trying to watch Arthur. Right? So that was on the other night.
I thought it was when you lodger.
So,
And she said, look, if you're in pain, do something. She said, you know...
you went and got a cold plate.
Yeah. No, use an ashtray. Plates are for liver damage.
Got in a taxi. He filled up on the way, which was annoying.
He didn't.
That
He
is
did.
cheeky.
That really, I mean, he could
On the
see I was
way
in
to the
pain.
hospital.
So,
Because he's not an ambulance driver.
so anyway, he gets us there and he doesn't charge us, which is pretty decent.
Oh, that's alright, yeah.
So this gay fella came through.
How do you know he was gay?
Just the way he was. I'm not having a go. He was a good fella. Do you know what I mean?
A
He was-
doctor, you mean?
No, he was a nurse.
Right.
And he came through and just sort of went, oh, how are you? And I was like, oh, I've had better days. So he got
As
me
you
on
mentioned in the diary, I remember the first time when I came here, they said the nurse might put a tablet up my arse. I thought the chances of that happening had just increased.
Oh, God!
Yeah, but I would have let him do it. Honestly, I was that sort of out of it. That,
Of course you'd let him do it. He's a qualified nurse.
No, but the way I am now, say if it was just a tablet for sorting out my blood pressure, and I walked in there and he went, oh, hello, and he said, yeah, let's pop that. I'd go, hang on a minute. but what I mean is that night, I would have just let him put 3 up, honestly. It's just weird, isn't it, how your body just goes, let them get on with it, and you trust anyone, don't you? When you're in that much pain and you need
And
help.
they're a qualified nurse, yes. Carl, of course, has written a poem about the experience entitled My Ward.
All I've done here, I've been through I don't know what the word is, a bad experience.
Trauma.
A trauma, yeah, I've been through a load of trauma. So I'm just finishing it off with a little sort of picture for people.
Go on then.
Me, a Chinese fella, and an old bloke who looked like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. Don't know what was wrong with him, but breaking wind was the symptoms. No one visited him or called him. He seemed quite lost to me. As well as wind problems, he had a colostomy.
Back.
When I left, I said, see you to the old man. Turned out the other fella wasn't Chinese, he was from Japan. I never found out what was up with him. You've got a little picture there, haven't you, of me sat in my ward. I'm sat there with that fella who I didn't talk to, the old fella who had wind problems. And that's what a poem is, isn't it?
But the detail about you thought he was Chinese and he turned out to be Japanese, how is that evocative? That's just a piece of misinformation.
It's just
I like it.
I imagine a lot of people make
I
the
like
same
it because
mistake.
you know why? It's like he even makes digressions within his poem.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like he could have gone back and erased that, but he didn't. He left that digression in, and I think that's great. Athlete, West Side. I still like that one.
It's a good track.
Yeah, I was worried it was a bit novelty, it would go off very quickly, but it's good.
No,
Really
it's not
melodic.
bad at all.
On XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Steve.
Well, we were talking about the news just now, and there was a story I heard in the week. I think it was on the radio, and I don't know all the details. But what I heard was that a number of, I think it was Falkland, maybe Gulf War veterans, were, I think, suing or complaining to the government because they wanted compensation for post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but it seems to me that if you're in the army and you're a soldier, a certain degree of trauma is kind of inevitable. I mean, after all, if you're any good at your job, you are going to see people getting killed. So I don't understand what the ins and outs of it are. I don't know why.
No, he already came back and Tony Blair met him and go, alright, well not really, no. Go on, what's the matter? Well, if there was people shooting at us and everything, it was all muddy. Well, calm down, don't cry. Well, I will.
There was a drill sergeant just kept shouting, saying, "Look at you, stupid boy, where's this
he's
gun's
got
not
trained,
clean?" I
hasn't
just
he?
cleaned the gun and it was fine, and now he's telling me to clean it again.
Yeah, the boots, they were shiny.
fine, he was
Well, he's
showing.
got to do that, it's more
His
discipline.
neck was as big as his head.
Well, yeah, but you don't know what they,
I don't know what the ins and outs of it are, but
what you got to do is make sure you know what you're going into. That's what I do. You got to check the small print. So if I was, going over to like the Falklands or the Gulf, I'd put my hand and go, will it be horrible? I go, you look like, yes, will it be horrible? It will be horrible. Yes, it will be horrible. There will be shooting and lots of death and everything. I go, right, I'm not going to go. And they go,
Exactly.
okay then. Okay.
that should be fine, yeah.
Should be fine, yeah, just like that. Is anyone else scared about this? Pretty much all of us. Okay, then we won't send anyone then.
Exactly.
My brother went into the army, right? Because he couldn't get a normal job, and my dad said, if you don't get a job by such a date, that's it, son, you're going in the army. And, so when was the Falklands? Was it about
81.
Right? And he joined back in like 81 or something. And I don't know, he was in Aldershot or something.
Oh yeah.
And he wrote back to my mum saying, a bad time to join, bad time in this. So she wrote.
What bad time to join? That's so sweet, Carl, isn't it? That's like, dear Dad. Yeah, well done.
Don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah. I was on the dole, that's for sure. Thank you for joining. A month before the Belgrano.
Anyway,
go on.
My mum called up, spoke to the sergeant, and said, "Can you leave him out of this one?"
Can you leave him out of this one? What, the Falkland War?
He's only just joined, and she called him Chuck, which he got done for. Like, she's one of them, I think it's a northern thing, like saying, "How are you, Chuck?"
Yeah.
And she called the sergeant Chuck, and the sergeant said to my brother, your mum, she's called up and asked if you can not go, which, of course, we'll see how it goes. But can you
What?
tell
What
her?
do you mean? Why did the sergeant even entertain this?
Well,
Pilkington, come here. Your mum's been giving me a bit of earache. Now listen, tell her I've told you, but can you call her, because she called me Chuck and everything. Can you call her and say you don't mind? Well, not really. Oh, please, because I've promised her say you want to go. No, please, say you want to go. Why was he entertaining this phone call?
probably because he was new.
What?
Because he was new to the army, I suppose.
Who? No, I mean the
your brother.
sergeant.
I don't know, maybe they do that.
So what happened? He didn't go in the end?
So he didn't go, no.
You can't do. But
that's ludicrous.
I love it though. Oh, we went over the top. Pilton,
No,
I've got a note. Yeah. Is this really your mum? Yeah. Okay. No, this seems to be in order.
Because I noticed it says, I do not want to go into the army, I don't want to go and fight, and it's crossed out and it says, my mum says don't
Yeah.
go. Now, you didn't write this yourself?
No,
did you,
no, my mum
Pilkington?
wrote this. Okay.
You definitely wrote this yourself.
Your excuse. You're going to have to fill envelopes.
No, I'm sure if he was needed, he would have had to go, but I think they made a bit of a special effort. They sort of said, oh.
Well, it wasn't conscription anyway. Oh no, obviously.
But were the other soldiers going around just going,
Pilkington.
No, he ended up being a mechanic in there, and he got kicked out for going for a packet of fags in a tank.
what?
Now wait a minute. Do you mean he nipped down the shops
Yeah.
in a tank?
Yeah.
I don't believe that, Carl, you've made
Honest
that
to
up.
God. That, and he went off with the sergeant's wife. So that didn't help, and he ended up getting kicked out.
Sorry, your brother's a genius.
I love this. First of all, he gets a call from his mum, go and let him up, and he goes, oh God. Then he goes, where's Pilkington? His mum's on the phone. Where is he? He's near your house, Sergeant. Near my house? Well, why is... No reason. Well, when he comes back, when he's finished, tell him his mum called. And can he get me a packet of fags? Tell him to walk this time. This
Wow.
is ludicrous.
So the sergeant found out that he was
Yeah,
sleeping with his wife?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was
Did
quite
your
young.
mum phone up and say, let him off?
Let him off this
marshal him.
time. Can he? Yeah. That's fantastic.
But he misses it. I mean, I haven't seen him for about 11 years, but ever since he came out, he's just kept getting into trouble and that. And the army, you know, people slag it off, but I think if you're a certain type of person, it's good for
It
you.
didn't straight him in, how did it?
No.
He was going down the shops in a tank, he was shagging someone
No,
behind
but
their back.
it's
Yeah.
really weird. It's like back then, he was like a proper adult, and he had a house, and he collected crystal with his wife and that. And now, he hasn't got any of that.
Has he got the wife?
No,
Has he got the crystal?
don't think he has.
And he hasn't got the
I
house.
seriously haven't seen him for about 11 or 12 years.
Oh,
So I haven't even spoken
it
to
always
him.
Carl's stories always start off nice and funny, and then they just leave me empty and slightly depressed. I don't know whether to hug him or shoot him, put him out of his misery. Can we take Carl to the phone in if you think I should take Carl to the vets and have him put down? Because it's just too stressful. Hyde's main offender, XFM 104.9. Wow, it's that time in the show where I test Carl on his
Homework.
yeah, for the week. History, the re-education of Karl Pilkington. As you know, we found out last week that he'd taken one GCSE and he'd got an E, and it was history.
Do you know, Steve, I haven't told you this. Went shopping on Sunday, buy some new jeans. Was in a shop, saw an old lad who I haven't seen for about 2.5 years. Went, you alright, mate, how you doing? First thing he said, sorry to hear about your exam results.
God.
I
Had
just-
he listened to the show, or someone had
yeah,
just told
yeah, he
him?
was on a train listening to it on our way to a football match or something.
He knew that you were on the show, did he? He was a
Yeah.
regular listener.
First thing he said,
Wow.
so sorry about your exam results.
Haven't people have been coming up to you in the station going, you
Yeah,
alright,
alright.
do you want to talk about it, or?
God.
I know.
Well, you did take it pretty badly for a 29-year-old man.
Just a bit of a shock, because it annoyed me that...
It wasn't a shock. You
No.
knew you hadn't got any.
No, I thought I'd have got a bit more than that. I wasn't expecting, you know...
But you didn't even think you took history, so that must have been a bonus.
Yeah, that's what my girlfriend said.
Yeah.
So, well,
But didn't
yes-
she say something quite philosophical, which was like, you know, you didn't even have an E this morning?
Yeah, she said yesterday, you know, you didn't have anything
Yeah.
today,
Exactly.
which was good.
Yeah.
Teenage Fan Club. Oh, they're a good band,
They
aren't
are a good band.
XFM 104.9. So, well, we're nearly there. So will your girlfriend be proud of you now? You performed a PhD graduate
It's a bit
there,
annoying because she's not in London today. She's in Sunderland or something, or Newcastle,
right?
working.
So she won't know what your greatest triumph. She saw last week's and you got an E in history, and now this week you come through
Yeah.
with some great praise that Mrs. Matthews never, you know, laid upon
Even
you, did
looked
she?
at. No.
No, just said you won't be a high flyer. Eh? You've shown them, haven't you?
You never know. I mean, I had mates who, like, you know, my mate Colin Makin, who
Sure.
did the disco with me.
Pilkins making music, yeah.
Pilkey's making music.
Yeah.
He was dead brainy. I don't think he's up to much these days.
Sure.
You
Just-
can't plan it.
Yeah.
Just goes to show.
Well, I mean, you can do, there's a certain amount of planning you can do. I mean, driving a tank down to the shops with some fags,
Yeah.
never going to mean you're a high flyer. You know?
And that woman who you picked up in your black cab, she's in a circus now and she
Yeah,
can
happy.
fly, which is good. Am I confusing that with a film? You went to see a film this week, didn't you?
Mm.
What did you
did you
see?
The Monsters Inc.
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
have a little argument? What was the argument about? Did you have an argument with your girlfriend or something? Because of
Well, the history thing took over last weekend, to be honest, when you found out my results. That was like the talking topic of most of the weekend. And,
why? What did she
you know,
say?
you brought it on yourself. You know, why didn't you take it serious? You know.
Was she annoyed or upset?
Well, she just sort of said, "You can learn. Look, you learned Rasputin.
Mm.
You know, if only you did
You've
that."
done
at school."
that. You've done
Do you know what I
Rasputin.
mean? She said, "You can do it if you're told to." She said, "You know, it's only because Ricky's told you to read the book that you're reading it."
Does she think we're sort of like taskmasters?
Does she think we bully you?
Nah, she knows it's just a laugh.
Yeah. What did you tell your parents about your?
Nope.
No. Never.
Because they never even questioned where my results were, so I don't want to tell them that, you know, I didn't get any.
No. What? How did they do it at school?
Didn't have them back then, did they?
Right. When was that, Carl? The Middle Ages.
Ages.
I don't know. I mean, like I say, back then it wasn't about getting results and that, was it? It was just about learning trades. I mean, my dad, right, he can, like, put windows in his house,
Yeah.
do plumbing.
He should. It's dark, isn't it? He's done that first of all. Right.
So he can do what? He's got a multitude of different
Yeah, he
jobs.
can do all sorts, do you know what I mean? If there's a problem in my flat, I can call him up and say, you know, this isn't working, what should I do? And he'll say, like,
I'm not a brain surgeon.
he'll say, oh, fix it.
Sure. So what about Monsters Inc? What do you make of it?
It's alright, it is a kid's film, it sort of annoyed
Is
me.
it?
Okay.
I was having, like,
what gave that away? Do you think? Was it the songs? Was it the animation?
Yeah, the fluffy little things that squiggled round on the screen for an hour and a half.
it is annoying because, like, there's kids everywhere, and kids don't watch films, do they?
No.
Do you know what I mean? They're messing
I don't know why they make kids films.
And you
To
can't-
be honest, it's mental.
Can't concentrate properly when you've got kids, you know,
Screaming,
making
shouting.
noise around you and that.
Yeah.
So I'd say, my little review, wait until it comes out on DVD.
What a great review that would be! Wouldn't that be great? Film 2002.
Yeah.
Jonathan Ross going, well, I don't want to give it away. Wait till it comes out on DVD.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, but not giving it away, it's just that you can't watch it properly when there's kids screaming around you.
Yeah.
sure.
Do you know what I mean?
What are you looking forward to this week? You going to go and see anything?
Just been talking to Ricky now, because my missus is away. I'll probably get out a DVD tonight.
Yep.
Rounders.
Oh, right,
I
okay.
thought you might like that.
And if
It's
you
about
can
gambling.
get, I mean, if I can get you tickets, say in the stalls or in a box for the stage version of Midnight Express, would you be up for that?
it's on ice.
'Cause I think it's the final year, isn't
It's
it?
lovely. It's Midnight Express on ice.
Yeah.
And it's a musical as well.
They're on roller
Do
skates.
you have any dope under your jacket? No.
Yeah. It
And
is well worth
it's,
hunting out.
it's great. John Hurt is actually in this version as well, which is fantastic.
It is
He played
brilliant.
the Elephant Man. So it's all comes, the universe all comes together.
Have you ever seen the stage version of The Elephant Man?
No.
You'd love that.
Yeah.
Who's in that? I have seen a clip of it. Who plays him?
I think they got a real guy with elephantitis.
Right.
Yeah.
What are you finishing on?
Let's have a final song for the ladies. It's from the album Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me by The Cure, and it's The Beautiful Catch. See you next
Goodbye.
week.
See you next week, everybody. Bye bye.